Greetings viewers, I am Dr. Rajni and today I shall be continuing with the most important questions of the chapter, The Demographic Structure of Indian Society. In my previous video, I had covered 4 important questions, and in this video presentation, I shall be covering 6. So let's begin. The first question, write a critique of the Malthusian theory. So here, you're going to frame your answer basically around these points. First of all, Malthusian theory is an oversimplification. So, when Malthusian theory is talking about the relationship between population growth and the availability of resources, and it states that despite rising population, it fails to overlook the fact that food production also increases, and this is due to technological advancement. The second thing that it fails to account for is that despite population growth, the standard of the living of the people keeps on rising, and this is due to the fact that there's a change in human behavior. This was also overlooked by Malthus in his theory. Now, the second point that you have to mention is that his theory is based on limited empirical evidence. So these are the drawbacks. Apart from that, he totally ignored the social and economic factors that influence population growth, and besides that, he did not look at inequality in access to family planning and education. Now let's move over to the next question. How does Malthus's theory influence sociology? Well, Malthus's theory is important in the sense that it laid the foundation of demography. What is demography? It is the study of the population size, structure, and distribution. It helped in the development of population studies or the economic, the cultural, and the environmental implications of population growth. It directed social policies towards family planning, family welfare, or social security measures, or poverty alleviation programs, etc. Now the next question. Do you agree famines are due to a reduction in food grain production? So here you're going to say not necessarily. Why? Because when we're talking about famines, they also are due to the inability to buy or obtain food, or as Amartya Sen said, the failure of entitlements. Now, why does this happen? This is because of the unequal power structures of our society, whereby certain people are deprived of access to land or political influence. So the land ownership patterns and political influence determines the access or the ability to buy or obtain food. Apart from that, the economic inequality, so the class difference also is to be taken into consideration. Now, which segments feel this more? This is going to be the women, the disabled, the people of the lower caste or of the lower social class. And what is the government initiative? You can mention that Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act is a step in the right direction. So what the government does is that it sort of plans out in such a way that the information and communication system is fully geared in order to find out the information where there is a lack of grains and to be able to transport rapidly to that area. So having a good plan and a program with well laid out transportation and communication system can help to control the famines to a large extent. Next question, should countries aim for zero population growth? So what is zero population growth? Basically when the population stabilizes. Now countries, based upon their present population growth and the future projections, decide whether to go in for zero population growth. There are certain benefits that accrue to ZPG, and what are they? The first one you should mention that environmental sustainability, in the sense that this, with the control on population, this results in less pressure on natural resources such as land and water, and this in turn will lead to better environmental conditions, better climate, better living conditions. So all these things are interrelated. Next, efficient resource allocation and investment. Here you can mention that the resources can be directed to areas such as education or healthcare, etc. So with control over population, the other aspects of well-being can be looked into. So this will help in bringing about a reduction in poverty and inequality, and overall bring about an improved quality of life, because there is stability vis-a-vis population. Now the question is, what are the challenges in achieving ZPG? There are certain challenges a country faces, and one of the foremost ones are that if the fertility rate of the country is already high, it will take some time for that fertility rate to decrease. So this is one of the challenges. The second is, if there is already an aging population, that is, that there are more number of dependents or a non-working population to the working population or dependents, then it's going to be a challenge to move towards the direction of ZPG. The other thing is that if the population is slow, negative or declining, then there's going to be a reduced workforce, and the country has to frame its immigration policies in such a way so as to bring about a balance in the labor force. And this is also going to have an impact on the economic growth. So looking into all those things, then a country plans whether it should go in for ZPG or not. How has the public face of India become more urban than rural in today's time? Now, if we look at it, there's been a distinct shift towards urbanization. What is urbanization? The movement of people from rural areas to urban areas. And why is that happening? Because the urban areas are marked by rapid economic growth and industrialization. They become the urban centers or hub of economic growth, finance, entrepreneurship, etc. And this is attracting the people more and more towards the urban areas. Now, this aspect is being highlighted more by the social media or any digital or non-digital media platform. And apart from that, the urban schemes and the smart city mission by the government has also brought the spotlight onto urban areas. So this social media has become more urban centric, so as to speak, because it is looking at the urban problems, their dilemmas, their perspectives, and it begins to feel that the public face of India is becoming more and more urban than rural in today's time because of this fact. So the other thing which makes the media sort of focus totally on or more on urban happenings is because cities are cultural hubs or cultural expression. Cities provide cultural expression in the sense that you have music, art, dance, theater, or you can say cinema. So all these factors make the public face of India more urban. Then, in terms of political dynamics, why do rural areas remain a decisive force? Now, here you have to mention that more than half of India's population, in fact, resides in villages. So that constitutes a large voting bloc, and the politicians are quick to, tap onto this large, voting mass of people, and they would, they find that since the villages are also the backbone of India's agricultural economy, as they provide employment opportunities, it is important for them to focus on this large voting bloc. So what they do is that the politicians, they maintain their community ties with the villagers, with their ancestral village, and that helps them to create a network, and that helps the politicians, sort of bind themselves in the hearts of the people, since they are maintaining their rural links with their patriarchal village. So what we have is, on the other hand, that the villagers themselves are bound by strong community ties and traditional structure like the caste system. So the net result is that you find people of a particular village voting for a politician who belongs to their village or to their caste, or probably to their religion or region, etc. So all these factors make a big impact, and that's why the politicians target this voting bloc. Now, the other thing to understand is that the villagers have limited access to information. So whatever the local politician tells them or guides them to do, they follow that, and that is also an advantage for the politicians. And then also the last point that you can write down is that priority is given to rural development through government initiatives and policies. So it's important for the politician, knowing that there is going to be development and in a rural area, and that there are a lot of governmental schemes, so they use that to their advantage in attracting the voters and building their voting base. So of course, what you can do is, you are free to add more points to whatever points have been discussed, but I have provided you a brief sketch of what are the points that should be mentioned. Suppose a question comes up like this. Now, as you can see on your screen, the questions have been compiled. The questions that I discussed today have been compiled. I hope that this will help you in preparing for your exams. And if there's any other question that you'd like me to discuss, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you. Have a nice day.